This is a Now Magazine podcast.
Hey, welcome to Now What? I'm Reddy Anton-Pillay, acting editor of Now Magazine and your host for this podcast. Today we are talking to comedian Joe Coy, who you might have seen in his Netflix comedy specials like Live from Seattle and Coming in Hot, where he gets into the experience of living with a Filipino mother and a Gen Z son. Well, he flipped those gags into a movie called Easter Sunday, which is opening in theaters Friday, August 5th. And so Coy joined us on the podcast to talk to us about the hustle to get his comedy specials on Netflix, why the streamer kept refusing the specials and also the material that they tried to cut out, and also why colonized people love to compete when it comes to religion and why we all worship Tia Carrere, who appears in his new movie Easter Sunday. So here is Joe Coy.
Joseph, are you coming for Easter?
I don't know, Mom. I'm really busy. I just tested for this pilot.
You're going to be a pilot?
A network pilot for like a TV show.
You're playing a pilot on the TV show.
No, a lawyer.
You could have been a lawyer if you only applied yourself.
Watching this movie, it does feel like, this is like an extension and an expansion of a lot of the stuff you have in your comic routines. Like it's Joe and his mom, and then it's Joe and his son, and this is what I'm seeing in the movie. And I want to talk about like getting a movie like this made this year, because I feel like this is the year of the Asian mom. Okay? And the reason I say that, I'm thinking of Turning Red, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and now Easter Sunday. I feel like this is like like Asian moms, the Tiger moms, they're all getting their due this year. And have you considered that, like having this movie come out and it's like in the ways this movie might be in conversation with them?
No, when I got this deal, it was like 2019 when we got it, and the way I got it was Coming in Hot, the one that you watched. Mm-hmm. Steven Spielberg watched that and brought me in to Amblin, and when I went into Amblin, I pitched Easter Sunday, and just like that, they bought it in the room. And just like that, they started shooting it. And then unfortunately, the pandemic hit. Mm. So there was a year or like 7 or 8 months where everything stopped. And then all of a sudden I was like, fuck, 30 years of my life. And I finally get recognized and seen for whatever, for the story that I've been trying to tell. And now it's not going to happen. Like, I really thought it wasn't going to happen. And I'm like, shit, it finally happens, and now it's being taken away from me. But thank God for Steven Spielberg, man, because he loved it so much. He's like, the minute something opens up, we're making this movie. And Vancouver opened up, and we flew to Vancouver, and we shot this movie. And so it was all timing. We shot it during the pandemic. It took us about a year to cut, edit, and finalize, and then it just happened to land. It was supposed to come out April. It was supposed to land on April, but that's when the theaters opened up, and they weren't ready to go. People weren't going to movies back then. So Steven, once again, postponed it to August and put me right next to his movie, Jurassic World. He only made 2 movies, by the way, mine and Jurassic World.
Right.
And here we are. So, I mean, yeah, it's cool that this is happening, but this is all just organically how it happened. Like, it wasn't strategized or anything like that.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, it is like there's something in the ether, right? It's like,
Thank
the
God.
fact that you're getting this moment, the Daniels get their moment to have this story with Michelle Yeoh, the fact that Domi Shi gets to have that relationship with her mother told. It's all, I mean, I'm sure they were all delayed by the pandemic. It's like, it's great that it's all kind of coming together, and that all of these narratives of these kind of Asian creatives, they're also focused on their mothers.
I love it. And then the
one
one that I love the most about what you're saying is my mom came to this country in 1968, 69. And for her whole life and existence here in America, she's never seen anything, heard anything, or felt anything that looked like her in this country. Mm-hmm. Every time she turned on the TV, there's nothing that looks like her. Even though she sees everything around her in this country that she sees her. You go to a hospital, she sees 1,000 of her, but yet you go to TV and watch a TV show about a hospital, and you don't see one Filipino on that thing. And that's the kind of representation she had to face. and just the way Asians are depicted on TV or in Hollywood. It was that's what she had to see. So from 69 to 2022, which is 51 years of non-representation, like, just imagine how she finally feels to see her voice and see her accent and to see her skin and to see her food and to see her family being represented on the biggest screen. Like, what an amazing moment for her. And not just her, but just like the Filipino community, and not only the Filipino community, but AAPI as a whole. You know? And not only that, God, I'll even go wider than that, man. What about any immigrant that comes into this family? Like, this movie right here is a perfect example of, like, it doesn't matter what your ethnicity is, your whatever your ethnicity is, it's a family will be a family, and a mom is a mom. And you will laugh. You don't need to be like, oh, I'm Filipino, I don't get it. No, you get it. Steven Spielberg gets it. You got it. Your Peruvian wife got it. You know what I mean? Everyone gets it. That lazy fucking excuse that everyone always used back in the day, we're not accepting that anymore. We're not. I'm not gonna allow that kind of Hollywood behavior happen anymore, where it's like, oh, you're too specific. They're not going to get it in Middle America. Well, you know what? Now they're going to get it because they always did.
That just made me think of the opening section of Coming in Hot, right? Because the opening section of Coming in Hot, you're very specifically talking about Hawaii, and I was just talking to someone in the other room there. Like, I've never been to Hawaii. I've never met a Hawaiian, and there was all these specific references you were making to Hawaii, but somehow I just got the humor because of the way you build the joke, the way you can tell a joke where it's like, even if you're totally foreign to this, you can get it. Like, I mean, and I think there's a genius to that.
I love you for saying this, and I want to stop you right now. Okay, let me tell you why I want to stop you right now, because that joke Netflix wanted me to cut.
Really?
Yeah, so they wanted me to cut it because they said it was too specific to Hawaii, and that people that aren't from Hawaii are going to turn it off because they were not going to get it. And I go, I don't understand this note. And they were like, well, people from Omaha or people from Texas or people from Japan that are watching this aren't going to get it. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is Hawaii. This is the vacation capital of the world. Everyone from Texas, everyone from Omaha, and everyone from Japan go to Hawaii. So either they already been there or they're about to go there. So they're either going to understand the references or they need to learn about the references, right? So that's why I say in the special, I swear to God, I say I'm talking to the world right now. I say it in my special. I go, I'm talking to the world right now. When you visit Hawaii, blah, blah, blah. And I start saying specific stuff. And the only reason why I said that is to show Netflix that this is going to be that moment of the show where I'm going to tell the world something specifically, but you're going to get it.
Right.
Going to get it. Believe me. Or if you're not going to get it, you can't wait to go there and get it. And that's so funny you said that, man, because I really did want to say it in a way where you understand the joke.
Yeah. No, I mean, mission accomplished for sure. And then so why you mentioned that then? I mean, man, you just took me off track because you're mentioning all these things that make me think of another thing. Because it's like, obviously, like, I mean, I didn't like when I read up on the struggle you had to tell your story. Because it's like I'm watching your. I mean, of course I'm seeing the end product. I'm watching your stuff. My belly's hurting. It's hilarious. Like, this is so genius. But like I understood that, like I was reading. I can't remember where I was reading. I think it was a Variety interview where you were talking about getting Live from Seattle made. It's like, what,
you believe that?
Well, yeah. Can we so just for the people listening, so like you had
so this is why this movie is so important, right? That's why doing this movie is so important, because this movie would have never happened. Because once again, even though I'm breaking all these records at all these comedy clubs, I'm selling like, there's one record that I have, it's 100 and something straight sold out shows at one comedy club, by the way. Like, no one's going to touch this record, right? But like, for some reason, when Netflix decided to make original stand-up specials, I wasn't looked at.
Yeah. Like,
it's too specific. Or I don't think they're going to get it. And it's just like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? because they're getting it. I'm selling out everywhere in the country. So who's not going to get it? Are you not going to get it? Because my ticket count says that they're getting it. Like when I go to Omaha, there's only 5 Filipinos in Omaha, but yet I'm sold out 6 shows. So they're getting it. So I didn't understand what was going on. So when they said no to me on Live from Seattle, they said we don't want it, and they passed. I shot it myself.
Yeah.
I took out my own money and I made it myself. A ton of money, by the way, which isn't fair, right? And then 2 days before I was about to shoot it, Netflix calls and they're like, hey, we heard you're shooting your special. We really don't want it. Just so that they didn't have any kind of verbal obligation. They wanted to really make sure that, hey, we don't want this shit, but you can shoot it, but we don't want it.
That's
so
petty,
imagine the pressure that I had.
Yeah.
Imagine that pressure. I got all my money invested, and not only that, the person I want to sell it to already said no, but yet I'm still shooting it. Then I cut it up. Then I bring it to them. I know you said no, but can you just watch it? Tell me what you think. They watch it. They buy it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they made me jump through so many hoops, so many obstacles just to get that story across. So basically, it's like, if they said, when they said no to me and I took their no for an answer, I wouldn't be speaking to you right now.
No.
Like, imagine that. You know how many times that's been said to people in Hollywood? Like, no, it's too specific. And that person they say to go, all right, well, I guess I'll just go back to college again because you said I'm too... There's a lot of people that went through that. And thank God I didn't. I was like, no, you're not going to tell me no. I'll show you why you should say yes. Let me shoot it. Maybe you don't really fully understand what I'm talking about. I shot it, gave it to them. They bought it. That's how I got Coming In Hot. And then when they gave me Coming In Hot, that's when Spielberg watched.
Exactly.
And Spielberg was like, I get it.
It's like, well, I mean, but it's racking my brain because it's like, for them to say it's too specific, it's like, I mean, like, okay, look, we already had Russell Peters. We already had Hassan Minaj. We already had all these other comics.
I think the reason why with Hassan Minaj is I think he was already established on the Daily News.
Right.
So I think that's what that was, and I think and I'm not taking anything away. I love Hassan Minaj.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And by the way, his director and producer is the one that produced and directed Live from Seattle, which I had to pay for. I paid for Shannon and Michelle, and you can call them right now and ask them, why did Joe Coy go with you guys for Live from Seattle? And the first thing they're going to say to you is because of Hassan Minaj's special.
Right. Okay.
I was in love with the way they shot it.
They set a bar in terms of what a comedy special I think could look like.
Yeah, it's got to look Gucci, baby. It's like, you know what I mean? We're not doing Ross over here. I'm not doing pay for less. It's like,
hold on. I mean, when I was pretty blown away when I saw Coming In Hot and like the scope of it, like of that stage and everything you were doing there. But by
the way, I took money out of my pocket for Coming In Hot. I never got paid. They paid me, but I went over budget, and they knew I was going to go over budget, and I still went into my own pocket and shot Coming In Hot. So Live from Seattle and Coming In Hot, I made no money.
Interesting. But I mean, is it only because you want to pay it forward to the next step in your career then? Is that what it is? Like,
I just wanted to, if I was going to make a special, it had to look incredible.
Right, okay.
Like, especially my second one, I was like, I have to top Live from Seattle. And I played a half arena. It was 8,000 people. It was a full arena, but it wasn't a big arena. The Blaisdell Max is like 8,500, and I sold it out.
Yeah.
That's why this third one, my fourth one, is at the Forum, and that's like 14,000. So I'm just gonna keep going.
What kind of details do you have on that? When does that come?
September 13th.
Oh, okay. So that's not the show that you're bringing to Toronto, is it? Is that the
Toronto? No, I got a whole new hour for Toronto.
Oh, you have a whole nice. Okay. So I mean, like again, I'm jumping all over the damn place right now. But do you have any details or anything you want to share about what's coming up in the show in Toronto at the end of this month?
Yeah, this is a whole new hour, man. You're gonna love this one. I haven't been to Canada in so long. So I just did JFL in Montreal. I did my own gala, and man, it felt good, bro. I was like, yes, sir.
Okay,
let's go. No, I totally forgot how much Canada really appreciates the art of stand-up comedy. Like, you guys embrace that culture heavy. So that I got my Canadian bug back.
Nice, nice. Well, look, you were talking earlier about, yes, you make this very specific comedy. Like it's about your culture, it's about your growing up, it's about your mom, it's about your son. But then a lot of people, it expands to the entire AAPI community, it expands to any immigrant community. We all relate, I feel like you do. I mean, there's a way your comedy builds bridges with all of these communities, like the Vicks thing. My Peruvian wife is like, she made me rubber with Vicks last night. So you got these little bridges, and I'm sure you're making all these connections. The thing that really made me think of my upbringing is the Catholicism stuff I saw in this movie. That little creepy baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that for a second? Talk about the whole Catholic, the obsession. I mean, I feel like there's something about colonized people where they compete to be the most Catholic.
Always.
How Catholic. I don't know if you saw that, have that. I mean, like in terms of your family and stuff as well.
Yes. Whoever loves Jesus the more. How can I be closer to Jesus? Yep.
Whoever can do the craziest shit to show their love for Jesus.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Especially Filipinos. They go really ham on that. You know what I mean?
Well, you got people who crucify themselves in the Philippines.
Huh?
You have people who actually crucify themselves in the Philippines.
On Easter.
Yeah, on Easter.
They hang themselves on crosses.
Yeah.
With nails.
With actual nails, exactly.
Yep. And I saw it. When I was a kid, I saw it.
Really?
Yeah, I was on the street with my sister Rowena. We saw all that, where they whipped themselves, all that during Easter. Yep.
Yeah. So and so with my family, I know we don't have anything like that, but I have this family where like they carry around a plastic doll of the Virgin Mary and wrapping in blankets like it's gonna bless your house, so you have to treat it with care. Or they make sure when you're on a road trip, you see a rosary when you leave the gas station, and before you get to the night diner for lunch, you say another rosary. That kind of stuff. So I'm wondering if you know what it is about us colonized folk, why we have to compete so hard in terms of this Catholicism, show people
I think that comes from poverty. Really? I think the people, that's how I feel, you know what I mean? Like they're always thinking about retirement and life after death. It's like, do good on earth because God is watching you. Because I feel like, when you come from like a third world country, you know what I mean? You don't have much. It's like all you know about is like your immediate family and where I'm going after this. So I better do good here with the little that I have. Because I want to make sure I'm taken care of up there. And I feel like that's what that is. I really do, because it's their only, to them, that's their hope. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's also the same driving mentality then why, my son is a doctor or a lawyer and your son is not. It's like the same competitive energy.
Oh, it's same component. And then that has nothing to do with the kids. That's still them. You know what I mean? It's like, I was not able to be that, but I'm going to make sure my kids are. You know what I mean? So, and I know you're not going to be able to do that with your kids. So my kids are better than yours, which makes me better than you. It's just like, oh my God, dude, it's nonstop.
Yeah. Look, like
imagine the pressure that happened to me when I became a comedian. My mom was so embarrassed. She didn't want to tell anyone I was a comedian.
Right.
She would brag about my part-time job. Oh, he's really good at selling shoes at Foot Locker. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm a comedian. I don't give a fuck about Foot Locker, Mom. She would never tell anyone I was a comedian, ever.
Yeah. I love your listen. I'm before I let you go, I just want to ask as a quick thing about Tia Carrere, because that was like you putting Tia Carrere in this movie gave me life. And I mean, I just want to talk about giving her the opportunity to have a role like this, because you think about Tia Carrere, she was that felt special for me because it's an Asian person in True Lies, like that was different, right? Even if I'm not that culture. But also thinking of how her career would have been limited because of the male gaze, the white gaze, how they, the sort of exoticization. So talk to me about thwarting that.
That's exactly. You described it on the nail. Like, the racism that she had to endure during, her time and her come up, you know what I mean? The horrible roles that were described for her to go audition for, even though she was so extremely talented, you know what I mean? And she had all the acting chops that you needed for any role. The only roles that she could go out for was thick accent, but can sing well. You know what I mean? Or that was the kind of stuff that she had to go out for. So, what that meant for me when I saw Tia Carrere hit the big screen and I saw her for the first time, and I'm just like, she looks like my cousin. That meant the world to me. And then I would wait for the end credits just to see what her last name was. And when I saw it was Carrere, I was like, she's Filipino. that indirectly inspired me, and that's why I had to have her in this movie. It was like my way of paying homage. Like, hey, this is for you. You know what I mean? And I want you on this because you're the reason why I'm here. And you know what she said to me? 40 years she was in Hollywood. This is the first time she ever played a character described as her. She's never played a Filipino in her life or ever went out for a movie role where the character was Filipino American.
No, I mean, absolutely incredible. And thank you so much for this. And thank you for this moment. And thank you for this conversation. And I hope to see your show when you get here.
Oh, you will see me when I get there, man. I'll see you in Toronto, baby.
And that's it for our convo with Joe Coy. Easter Sunday opens August 5th, and Coy will also be bringing his Funny is Funny World Tour to the Budweiser stage in Toronto on August 20th. For more on that and a lot more, visit nowtoronto.com and follow @nowtoronto. Until next time.